Coucou, coucou tout le monde. How's it going everyone? Hope you had fun where you going. Hope you had fun. How's it going everyone? We're going to start off this with I can speak, oh damn it. We're going to kick things off the rails real quickly. Also, hey Nip Jones, Hope you had a good time finding out this. I think that's the first time you showed up on the stream. Unless you had an account or not. You didn't have an account beforehand. Et voilà. Et sinon, Kaku, Laura Bru, de même. Oh yeah, Nip, don't worry. Expect me to switch between French and English because I have both. I have people from both sides that watch my stream. But don't worry, I know how to switch it up. Are you French? Oui. Oui. Ça n'a pas l'air, mais c'est le cas. I'm going there soon. Ah! Congrats! Where are you going? If you don't want to tell, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. In the meantime, Paris. Ooh. Hope you be prepared. Because Paris is not exactly the best place. Be careful. There's actually a syndrome. Don't look. What you see in media of Paris is not the same. You're going to get sorely disappointed on many points. But yeah, aside from that, glad you make it. I'm thinking about Sinalang though. Ooh. Okay, hope your wallet is gonna tank that, because Disneyland Paris is extra expensive. Really. Voilà le thème d'aujourd'hui, t'inquiète pas. J'y vais, Laura, je suis en train d'expliquer. Je cause juste avec Nip Jones, je le conseille sur son voyage à Paris, t'inquiète. Je vois son pari qui va y aller bientôt. Vraiment, sois préparé. Be prepared, Nip Jones. Hope you had a good insurance, because Paris is not the best place sometimes. And basically, you might get robbed and all. Not the best place to an extent. I tend to advise people to look up other places than Paris, because Paris became a bit of a tourist trap to an extent. But there's more than that, of course. You can still visit. It's not a bad place per se, but yeah, you still need to be extra careful. But yeah, ready though. Hope you're going there. So yeah, hello, Sesame, right on time. I was about to go into the theme, and today's theme is going to be warrior, at least on the warrior, ou guerrier pour Lolo, vu que tu parles pas anglais, donc c'est guerrier. And because I'm mad, I decided to mix up two Fakemon lists. And along with that, I'm gonna have to mix it up with Swarms and Horde. Prépare-toi, Nipigeon. Ok, par contre, Lolo, je sais pas s'il comprend l'anglais, je te le fais. Basically, Laura is preparing you about Paris. Non, Nipigeon, ouais, ouais, par contre, Nipigeon, ouais, à part, ouais, évite, c'est pas Nipigeon, c'est, Nip Jones. What they're saying is that, be careful. Be careful. There are much of mad people. There are a bunch of scary people. There are quite some insane people out there. Very prepared security-wise, like really. And when it comes to protecting you, the government is a bit, very lackluster. Like, for real. Really, you need to be prepared. And Persian tends to be a bit grumpy to an extent. That's also a thing. So be worried. Et pourquoi tu l'as appelé par... Lolo, juste Laura avant. Pourquoi tu l'as appelé Nid Pigeon par contre? Pour le coup. Hi, go play. Hi, go play. Hi, go play. What's going on? I was just summarizing the theme, which was theme for tonight, which are warriors and along with horde and swarm. And basically, I was giving some advice. I was giving some advice on Nip Jones on their trip to Paris. Especially be prepared security-wise. So be careful. Ah, your friends. That's good. Okay, okay. Cool. Cool, your friends, though. If I wanted to visit France as well in Paris, because I feel like a tourist go there. Yeah. Even without the problem, the security problems in there. Ah, mon correcteur avait bugué. Ok. Ok, ok. Hey, Tyrant! How's it going? Okay, Sesame? Yes, aside from the problems you find around around Paris and its security problems, Paris is a bit of a tourist trap. Plus, I told Nip Jones that Disneyland Paris, at least the Paris version of Disneyland, is hella expensive. Like, really expensive. You gotta be careful about that. Am I designing for my game right now? Ah, cool, cool. Okay, we're going to try something real fun this time. Hold on, let me try something. Merde. Merde. Okay, oh yeah, I forgot to give you the mood board. We're just busy suggesting advice on that on Nip Jones' trips to Paris. So here's the mood board. Here's the mood board for that. We're going to try to make some kind of phalanx conversion based on the plagues of Egypt and locust, because locust is one of the plagues in there. We're going to give it some Egyptian warrior vibes akin to the Tombkins in Total Warhammer. What's up with the prompt beside warrior? Oh yeah, hordes and swarms. And that's why I took the... And that's why I make it into we're going to try make it some kind of phalanx convergence, which I'll probably call low kings. Also, phalanx legs gong. I'll probably call it. Hold on, let me get the name. Low sing kings. Low kings. Low kings. Oh wait, no. Facust. Facust. Facust sounds better. Either Facust or low kings. Or things. Either of them. I'm gonna try to make it a bit Egyptian theme this time. BRIB, okay. Lockings, better. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna try to give it a bit of a Egyptian vibe going on. Voila. I'm gonna try to give it maybe a bug, either mono bug or mono steel. Something that's related to Egyptian. And with the Kopesh, aka the Egyptian blade, we could give it the impression and the formation that looks like an actual locust. But what would we recommend for tourists in Paris? Just curious. First of all, I'd say the region of Brittany. Okay, the place we call Bretagne. When it comes to, it's actually a very good place. It has its own culture. It's actually very good. You can also look up around the southern west of France too. That's just as cool. That's just as cool on that one. That's just as cool as place. So Brittany first, I'd say, which is northern west of France. You know the little bit. Then you can go. Or usually the west of France are usually pretty places to go. Then you can also go around the region of Provence is actually quite nice too to look at. But careful though, it tends to be also one of those places where most tourists tend to go during summer. So, and it's partially a bit of a tourist trap to an extent. So my suggestion, if you want to go to Provence, maybe not during summer. At least if you want to visit Provence, the region of Provence, the Occitane region. Because they are less likely to have, it's not that the tourist traps are there, far from it, but you are less likely to get trapped in there, so to speak. You are less likely to get trapped. But aside from that, more places are super good to go. And to an extent, Paris has its own merits in you think about it. But yeah, it's actually not actually the best place to go. It has dropped down because there's a reason. I know it's not technically that. I know is it. I don't remember if that place is actually registered as actual mental problem mental disorder. But there's actually a Paris post-traumatic mental disorder that you essentially go into depression after being exposed to the reality of Paris after years of being exposed to media. There's actually something like that. You need to be careful about those. Yep. That's basically the main suggestion I'll be doing. But it's best that you also look up for yourself best places in France that is not Paris. Because I may have some ideas because I'm from there. But if you have other people that have already been to Paris, to other places, just ask them. If the question was reversed on me, I have no idea where to compare to Finland. I only went around different places because I really know how good places are. Yeah, same. I've been trying to explain it the best way I could, but at the same time, we still need to. We still need to try to suggest it in a way that not too misleading to an extent. Up. There we go. Ah. Hop là. Bien. So sum it up, do your research, people. Yeah, do your research because, especially if you have, ask people first. If ask people where he went there, and they can give you a better explanation too. And also people who actually live in France too. If you know people, that's like you just did with me. Gonna have to be careful about the. Yeah, trying to play a bit with the formation so that when you look at it, it looks like some kind of an actual locus. I'm gonna have to look up a pharaon hat, chapeau de pharaon. Voilà. I have to look up that first because otherwise people wouldn't get it. Like this. Hold on, this actual head that looks good. There we go. I don't know if the actual formation, the face looks like an actual locust head, but I am into something. That's fine. Plus, I'm trying to give it some variant of the Egyptian hat, because they don't have the same hat. While the others will get the infamous Egyptian hat. The one everybody knows. Like this. Non, je veux que tu restes avec moi. Though I'm very tempted to give them the ground type because of the Egyptian law. If the Egyptian doesn't, if the bug type isn't far enough, isn't well explicit, I can try to change it to sand, to ground type, because Egyptian is often associated with sand, so at least the connection there will be far more easier to get than anything. There we go. And we could use that tip of those Egyptian hat as the limbs. Allez, je vais voir ce qui se passe dehors. Allez. Voilà. Point, point, point. Plus, you give them a bit of a... Although you could make it to original form too, if you want. You know what? We could give it a... We're gonna make it to original form. Yeah, original form will be great, because I think tomorrow is going... The one will be new tomorrow is going to be a Halloween variant along with Moon, so it's going to be either the third gen celestial bodies or the legendaries of Falolan. So, well, we're not going to waste more time. We're going to try you something more simple. Hopla. Full Egyptian regional. Just a mono ground type would be great. There we go. Plus the leader can have the whole Egyptian lord vibe like this. He gets all the honors. You can see the leader in there. It's very evident. Although I like the locust imagery in there. Like that. Hopla. There. think this were going on. Once you finish, you could draw the megas from these guy megaps. Oh yeah, you could try that. The only thing you need to remember is that because it's meant to be an Egyptian Finmon, you could try to mix it up. And do you plan to make it similar to what the AI has cooked, or you want to make it your own version? Like an actual good version of that, if you mean. That's what I'm asking. Hold on, let me get this straight. Oh, they actually do not have. Okay, I'm gonna have to be careful about that one. Voilà. Oh yeah, stupid. Voilà. I forgot that I deactivated that. And thank God I used them. Voilà. I'm gonna have to. Voilà. Make sure we don't fumble. Voilà. Normally, I don't do that earlier because I'm gonna have to do the bit of the eyes earlier because the original art has them as their eyes as Linus design. Don't know yet. Just I don't want when to draw these guys. Maybe similar to the eye, but still different. Yeah. One thing you should take it to. One thing you could look up is the Tomb Kings faction for the Warhammer Fantasy faction. They got some dope. They got some superb. They got some superb miniatures you can look up to, like some kind of formation. And you could take that one. You know, like the chariots and all. You could definitely take inspiration from that. There's definitely something you could do on that one. Yo, wait, I've seen these guys for Warhammer. That's so cool. Yeah. But that's for Warhammer Fantasy, not 40k, so you need to be careful on that one. And since they're all based on Egyptian culture, you could take inspiration for some of the miniatures, especially the one around on the chariots. You could take that one and you could make a phalanx formation out of it. Voilà. Going on. Aha. Oh wait, I got an idea. Voilà. We are going to shape the bug's eyes like one of those pauldrons Egyptian crap. I can't speak with school. Egyptian royalty had. There we go. Merde. What is your favorite faction for Armory for one? Well, alors, when it comes to fantasy, I don't have any. I like the dwarves in fantasy. They're super fun. I like dwarves in warmer fantasies. They're so nice. Plus, we get the characters, freaking Gostrek and Felix. Those dudes are so fun to watch. Such a good books. I haven't read them yet, but I heard very good news each time. Each time they just happen to be fun, wholesome. When it comes to Age of Sigmar, I'm a bit miffed. I tend to gravitate towards chaos, but at the same time, the ghost in there. I like the ghost faction. That's a force, and this is a bit of a force of habit. From my whole life, since that's a bit of a consequences of being liking Danny Phantom is that you tend to gravitate towards the Spoopy's faction. The one that the more ghost-like, the better. You're like, I'm going to gravitate towards those one because it reminds me of that one show about the twink. But no, it's more than that. But I also like, I tend to like also Fire faction too. The dwarves are still nice to an extent. In 40k, in 40k though, 40k is a bit of a mishmash. Chaos is still there, but not as much. Not as much because they essentially copy pasted from Warhammer Fantasy for starters, so not everything's changed, except say from maybe the Demon Prince, maybe. I got a Chaos Primarch. Angron. Angron was really unlucky. Dude could have been an empath if the Emperor of Mankind decided to essentially not take him in the midst of his revolution and took him at least with his friends instead of taking him alone. Angron is an absolute tragedy in 40k. Dude didn't ask anything, being betrayed by everyone around him. That's just no wonder he's angry. He's been betrayed by anyone. The only one who didn't betray him are dead. And that's so sad. But when it comes to 40k or on the royalist, I love Jedi the white scars. Because I love the pride of their own culture, even though it's Mongolian. I like how they share the culture. Like, they still try to keep their identity, even though they're part of the same. They've been annexed into the Imperium. And that's nice to find out there are still stuff like that. Plus, Jagatai is such a good character. He's got some nice jab. He's one of the best. He's beyond the best jabs in our 40k as we know it. And that jab was aimed at Fulgrim, the Primarch of the Emperor's Children. Basically, he told him, you did strange things, you man," in reference to the possibility that maybe someone was being a bit, let's say, not chaotic, but he was doing some strange experiment that would have been against what the Emperor has essentially not coronated, Mel, as a condone. Voila, condone. The only knowledge I have for Warhammer for 40k should look up to Fantasy for Perfection for 40k at Tyranids. Just love aliens. Ah, the Tyranids. The num. I can't blame you. They're just simple. They're more of a threat than chaos. They're great devoured. You can't really negotiate with those. Really. That's totally understandable. Yeah, look up fantasy. It's a bit better. Plus, you got the Skaven, which are literally a bunch of backstabbing rats who kiss big backstabbing themselves more than the other faction. They just backstab each other. Plus, they speak talking like this. Ah, yes, love it. Ooh, human thinking. Yes. They got this weird accent. They just whack. Most of the experiment, they're just a bunch of super high heavy tech rats, but half the time the experiments and weapons just backtrack, just they backfire spectacularly. And the guys that have essentially create the closest thing to nuclear bombs. But because they keep backstabbing each other, they tend to kill themselves more than often. Not that they aren't a threat to the rest, far from it. But the idea of just when they aren't backstabbing mankind or the other races, they just backstab each other. No, really. There. By the way, Omen Sesame, if you want a good channel to give you an idea of what fantasy is, you can look up Book of Choyer if you want some more immersive, more narrative-driven stories. But if you want some fun version explanation of it, look up Pancreas No Work. I love his videos are so fun to look at. He is an absolute lover of fantasy. You'll probably have a few laughs of it. Plus, you'll probably like him. Plus, he's into elves. As in, the guy is an absolute. He loves elves in most fiction, save for those in the Elder Scrolls. Funnily enough. Oh, I'll write those down. Yeah. Feel free. So you got Boko Choyer. Hold on. I'm going to write those down. Let me get back into YouTube. Merde. Et shit. Voilà. Choyer. Now, Boko Choyer is more into 40k now when it comes to narrative, but in his much earlier vids are for fantasy driven. But other than that, if you want a more summarized version of it, which lasts mostly 1 hour, then you can look up Pancreas No Works. Voila. There we go. Merde, what am I doing? Merde, hold on. Shit. Hold on, did I? Hold on, is it still? Okay. Wait. Okay, no. Merde. Shit. Merde. Merde. Contenu. Shit. Diffusion directe. Voilà, dans la salle du contrôle direct. What an absolute idiot. For some reason I decided, hey, what if I remove the widget, the tab with where I could look up a YouTube stream. What an absolute idiot. What an absolute idiot I was. But thankfully I managed to find my way back there. I thought by doing so I just shut down the screen. Oh merde. Ah les cons. Ah merde. Merde. But I'm here. But there we go. I gave you the idea of those YouTubers too. They're super good when it comes to Warhammer Fantasy. Plus there are many more out there, but those are the one I know the most. The one I got my fantasy knowledge from. They're so great. Thanks for this recommendation. We definitely check them out. Feel free, huh? Feel free. Feel free, feel free. Merde. There we go. Hold on, let me try something. I'm gonna convert this into vector layer, paramètre du vecteur, anti-crénage, moyen, exporter tout en noir, non, inclure le blanc dans la conversation. Dépasse 16. Ah bon. On va convertir en noir alors dans ce cas. Vecteur. Oui, normal. Exporter tout en noir. Voilà. Et voilà, c'est pas grave. Hold on, let me just. They're a bit more weird. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, we're going to keep the original layer. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Like all artists should do. Question, would Mega not work if I had more of these guys? Just for what if Snake Tail made for these guys? I think they could work, personally. I think there's definitely something you could try out. I'm an advocate for any idea works as long as the execution works. Because any idea can be done some way, but there are others that are a bit fumble. We're going to take a bit of an example. Let's say we want to... where those people were trying to make those megas based on what they've seen on the leaks before they were actually released? It's exactly that. Exactly the same deal. Except now in ZA, the megas weren't exactly well done. I say, basically any idea could be done. If you look, there was personally, basically, you know how there are many people doing a Mega Stormy? Exactly the same principle. Exactly the same. Same principle. Others could be done like Mega Feraligator too. Mega Feraligator, I believe, was an absolute letdown. Seriously, poor boy was absolutely betrayal. It was an absolute betrayal. Because that man was the starter with the most expectation of them all. Because he was a favorite. But when you look up at what they did, you might be wondering, what the hell happened? Exactly, and that's the reason people didn't like Mega Feraligator. So, personally, I believe that but in the end, there are many people who try to make some good megas out of what they did of Mega Feraligator. That'll exist. It exists somewhere. I don't think it cannot exist. But because of what Game Freak had done, it doesn't have the same the jazz, so to speak. They don't have the same suave, so to speak. They could basically work. So basically, go ahead about the megas, about the snake mega fallings. I think you're doing better. You'll be doing better than what you done. Game Freak has done. You'll be doing much better. I can trust you on that one. Even a kid would do better at this point. Does post the trauma exist like post-Paris trauma? Not yet, but I think it's going to happen at some point. Speaking of the A, I just remember something. You know that whole curry croissant? What the hell is this? Seriously, what the hell is that? I know that Paris has been known to make some weird stuff in the past, at least on my side, but even I am starting to question that. I like to think, no, I don't think Paris will be like that. And I'm not for Parisian, and I'm from a part of the region of France that keeps bashing Paris. We keep talking shit about Paris every damn second. I'm actually very curious, to be honest. What the hell is this? Seriously. I'm genuinely curious. I'm actually weirded out. What the hell is this? I like the idea, but what is a cruise ship like that? That's weird. I know that it's meant to be hot cuisine, it's meant to be a very refined and all, but still, what the hell is this? Again. What the hell is this again? Looks weird again. But there's one thing I've seen on most play, I think on ZA, is that yeah, everyone is shocked where everything is that expensive. But that's Paris, man. It's the authentic Parisian experience. It's super expensive. So I'm glad people get to get a more sort of experience, more authentic Parisian experience. Although if you really want an actual authentic experience, oh yeah, like the idea, but oh yeah, I already. There's actually, if you want a good authentic Parisian experience, you should definitely look up. What was it? Ah oui, c'est vrai. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Then again, it's done by actual French people, so it's a bit of a cheating. So we know how we look, how we behave, in a way. We know how that works. Funnily enough. We know how that works. Merde. Voilà. I know those are meant to be gold, but it's more as to make the limbs different from the body. Just like that. You can actually discern the most important part of it. Hold on, let me get back into here. Aha, okay. Hold on, hop là. I like the green eyes, makes me think of the Egyptian inspired robots for 40k. Oh yeah, the Necrons! These are Egyptian. They are literally Egyptian Terminators. They are literally the 40k equivalent of the Tomb King. That's a fun fact. That's the fun fact. So that's why you get the same feeling. Although you could make the shiny base on the Necrons, when I think about it, instead of just... Because the base color already looks very much like what you see in canon filings. But if we give it something akin to what we saw, that'll be great. That's nice. Wait, I just realized something. Quick question. Hold on. Let me get back into something. Real quick. Look at where the spike go. Over here. Yeah, that's weird. Just food for thoughts. Just food for thoughts. Well, I guess they are like hand puppets in a way. Oui. But also, ouch. Voilà, so I. There we go, much better. We could. Aha, yes, I like it better like that. Oops, my bad. And now we're getting into the meat of it. Also, hydrate check. Hey, good idea. Hold on. Let me just prepare the layers, the shading layers, and I'll be back. Hopla. Just shouldn't be too hard. Hop. Ok, be right back. Be right be. Attends, merde. Attends, je vais pas faire. Attends, est-ce que. Ok. Tu sais quoi? Voilà. Voilà. Never done that before. Or at least in the. Voilà. Voilà. Je reviens, les copains. Voila, there we go. We're back. Back again. We're back again. Just took a little sip as required. Now we're gonna go back to our main schedule. There we go. Perfect. There we go. There. A bit over here. The brightness around there. Oops, my bad. Consider this as a proof that I did my hydrate check. And poof. There we go, a bit sandy. Et hop là. Answer why, but why do you doing human noise? I think it's more like being polite and all. I think that's ingrained in our brain. We just need to avoid burping. But consider this as a, like I said, consider this as a proof I did my hydrate check. Very good. See, that's what I said. Hydrate check proof. Hehe. Okay. Just to make sure I don't fumble that up. Voilà. And this guy is going to be in the dark. Complete darkness. Hold on, let me try something real quick. Merde. Voilà. Voilà. Well, hop là. I'll erase that later. Voilà. Just should have removed these beforehand. Voilà. What is that? Okay. Voilà, petite bavure. And let's go back to what we initially planned to. There we go. Bonjour. Voilà. There we go. At least this one will get a bit of a spotlight around there. You'll be seen like the rest. Yeah, I'm not blocked by division like the others. Woohoo! Voilà. That's not all, but by I think it's hold on, let me get the calendar for a quick second. Oh yeah, by oh crap, by next Sunday there won't be any more of those Faketober stream. Faketober spoopy Faketober stream. Not that I won't stop streaming, for far from it, but it will be much more, let's say, moderate, at least once per week, which will probably be around either Friday or Saturday, either of them. It's going to be much more moderate in there, but at least you can see me draw more mods with some commission and all that. We'll see how that goes. If I were to do commission, I'll ask the person in question to be there. I'll ask Terminator so that I don't get to go there blindfolded. and then we can go from there. Okay, I think we good on the liner. Might have to. I'm going to what? There we go. We can already go somewhere like that. Merde. Little breather. Recommend taking a little break for streaming after this fucking or going back to it. Oh yeah. That's what I've been planning to do. Because the last stream technically I'll do is either the one on the October 31st, which will be the free real estate, one, where I can do anything for that day, or it will be November 1st, where it will be essentially the tier list, which I won't have anything to draw, just prepare the stream, just prepare some tier list. We're gonna talk a bit what I've done in mine, some retrospect. So it will be chill, and depending on how much people there are in there, there could be anything. Merde. So don't worry, and after that, and after November 1st, the next stream won't be until next Saturday or Friday. So don't worry, there will be at least 1 week. There will be at least 1 week pause when it comes to streaming. I don't plan to just go out there right after. No. There we go. Oh wait, I just realized something. Ah, much better. I was wondering. And over there, we're going to. There we go. Much better. There. We can see a bit of the perspective in there, a bit better. Hold on a mic. I have to. Maybe over here. Because there's here, over here. Merde. Voilà. CTRL S. Fou. Et. Dottery, posture check. Hey. Yeah, pity. Up 40%. And I went to the Allied Voice. Ah, merde. That's not what I wanted. Gonna have to take the gold first. Voilà. So I get a bit bamboozled in the long run. Merde, est-ce que c'est bon pour commencer? Ouais. What am I? Oh, putain. Ah, as take mistake in some shortcuts. I'm having fun. Oh yes, of course, I'm stupid. I fool. Go on, still on the gold. Still on the gold part. Speaking of which, Hey, go play, how's it going? Hope you're doing well with whatever you were doing back then. We're getting a bit better now. A little boy over here. Just download the Godot and the working mic to game. Ah! Hey! Congrats! Hope you're having fun where you're planning today. Hope you're having fun what you're planning. Meanwhile, we're still making a little regional phalanx, not a convergent anymore. I think it looks too much like a regional to not be called a convergent at this point. So far, isn't that hard compared to coding my old school platform? Ah, yeah, it's not the same thing. But you still need some coding skills in there. You still need some coding skills in there. It's not. So how's lockings? Like I just said, now it's original phalanx. No, it's no longer locklinks because it looks too much like original to be called a convergent. But it's still going to be. I think we're going to keep it. We're going to make it monoground, either monoground or ground bug. Although, because I like to give the sense that with the form they gave, that's why I gave the Kopesh on them. On those guys, they gave the Kopesh. Attends, what? Hold on. Wait. D'accord, qu'est-ce que. Hold on, what the. Okay. I don't know what happened, but. Okay, for some reason my texture layer moved a bit on its own without uploading coding that tutorial is working. Oh yeah, tutorials are still there. When you go, sometimes what you can find is some some obscure tutorial done by someone, an Indian person. Indians are the best when it comes to finding some when you're lost. Sometimes you just find that one Indian guy with the right code. You're like, oh, thank you, Indian guy. And you Indian guy who's underwater. I know how to make my super effective side effects. Woohoo! Thank you, man. One of those. Because those tends to be the ones with the most techniques. Oh wait, I forgot something. Oh. Ooh, I forgot about you. Did Sun join Amazon? Nope, pas du tout. Pas du tout. He didn't. Nope, he didn't. It was only me, Sesame, and the cute little fangs over there. The cute little boy. I'm currently making. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna give it 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one thing I need to be careful is about the gray and a red. Moving to normal. Hold on, let me just maybe 25. Voila. There we go. If you're wondering what I'm currently doing, it's very simple. Because the red doesn't come out that much thanks to the overlay layer, I tend to separate the red, the light, overlights on the red in a separate layer, which I put on normal, so that you can see it better. And so far that's been good. It's a good trick when you're a bit lost. You're wondering, what is that? What the hell is this? You're wondering, why doesn't the red showcase that great on overlay? Not that it doesn't work, but the layer has to be very, very opaque, layer-wise. The layer itself has to be very opaque. You cannot put very high. You need to be the value needs to be a tad higher so that you can minimum see it at bare so much. That's why I put it compared to the rest of the colors. That's why I need to put it in different layers sometimes. But aside from that, it's still working, you know. Red is very vicious color-wise. It's a vicious color when it comes to overlay. Very vicious. Sometimes I don't have to do that. Sometimes I have to. There we go. Meanwhile, on the multiplayer, red is working like wonders. But then again, the multiplayers is meant to be the shadow colors, so you're fine. So yeah, we're done with this bad boy. At least the main color. Looks so. Little boy is good. Little bunch of Egyptian phalanx, which will be probably ground fighting or monoground as a way to change it a bit. Ground, it has to be ground at least for just only for the Egyptian reference. It's gonna be nice. A bit of a swarm. It's got the wire theme going on, but swarm might be a bit fast stretch. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, shiny, we're going to base it on the Necrons from 40k. I think I got. Hold on, let me just get the layers. Downstone looks good. Hold on, let me just. Rust gray, to the big. We're gonna try Ashen Blade. No, merde. Ashen Blade for the gold. Nope, we're going Downstone. Yeah, Downstone better. Looks better. Qu'est-ce que j'ai manqué? Oh, ça va, là, on a quasiment fini le Pokémon. Là, on est en train de placer le shiny. Donc, je suis en train de faire... je suis en train de gérer les couleurs. Donc, on va se baser sur eux. On va passer sur ce beau monde, sur les Necrons de Warhammer 40 000. Le shiny. Attends. Ouais, brasse scorpion, je pense qu'on va prendre ça. Ouais, non. Voilà, scorpion bronze. Et je pense qu'on va prendre le vert, hein, bizarrement. Attends, je crois qu'on va prendre le vert. Ah ah. Non, ça fait un peu dégueulasse. Ça fait un peu dégueulasse. Ah non, c'est ce que je viens de faire. Je suis teuteux. Tu sais quoi, on va mettre un espèce de... Qu'est-ce qu'il y a de bon en rouge? On va peut-être mettre en... Non, je vais juste d'en revenir, je suis teuteux. Voilà, teuteux et... Voilà, et à part ça... Je crois que c'est rouge. Ouais, c'est vert. Ok, j'ai manqué presque tout le live. Eh ouais, malheureusement. Eh ouais, malheureusement. Mais t'inquiète pas, hein. T'inquiète pas. Au moins... Merde. Voilà. Au moins, t'as eu une belle liste. Je pense qu'on va prendre un bon jaune. Mais t'as capté, de toute façon, demain... Merde. Voilà. Voilà, on va faire jaune. Attends, que je fasse pas de conneries. Voilà. Merde, attends. Hop. Merde. Calque référé. Voilà. C'est ça que je voulais faire. Tac. Tac. Que je me trompe, fasse pas avoir. Voilà. Après, après, attends, je vais peut-être tenter voir lui à la place. Voir à la place. Merde. Bronze. Peut-être le vert. On va le mettre en plus foncé, peut-être, je dirais. Ah merde, mais il m'a fait un caca nerveux. Oh, c'est... Ah oui, d'accord. Ah, oh mon dieu. Oh, il m'a fait un truc dégueulasse. Oh, attends. Attends 2 minutes. Voilà. Bon, déjà, c'est déjà ça. Et je pense que le vert, on va prendre un vert un peu plus teinté comme ça. Je pense qu'on va plutôt prendre un vert comme ça. Dans la même veine. Voilà. Voilà, ça sera un peu plus joli. On va peut-être mettre... Voilà, on va plutôt faire... Voilà, un petit joli. Petit comme ça, joli. Voilà. Ce sera un vert un peu plus joli que l'autre. Voilà. Je vais faire ce qu'il faut là. Voilà. Almost there. We're almost there, everyone. Hold on. Dishes. Voilà. We're almost there. We're going to try... I don't know. Does it do these blends? Oh, these actually blends. Merde. Shit. Maybe if we stick to this though. And yeah. Slightly better. And we're going to... Merde. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gold. Voila. I'm trying to get that Necron feel, but without the green colors. But the shiny is a bit weird, I admit. But if you know Necron from 40k, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to calm down on the texture over here. There, it's a bit better. But yeah, we're done with this boy. We're done the Necron boy. It's gonna be a new world, new version. It's gonna be better. So we're going to do the usual recap, huh? That's normal. Un, deux. Chou. Voilà. So now, we're essentially, we're halfway there. We're almost there. We just finished Warrior. And tomorrow is going to be Eclipse. But along with that, I'm gonna have to mix it with the Halloween version over here. And it's gonna be Halloween variant. So it's gonna be another regional tomorrow. It's gonna be another regional. But the regional is a bit very limited in thanks to the other prompt, the Eclipse one. And the Eclipse is going to be either the moon and the sun, those two sun and moon, those rap psychic sun and moon Pokemon from 3rd gen, or Solgaleo and Lunala. It's gonna be either of them. That's for sure. That's for sure it's going to be them. It's going to be either of them. So and I'm gonna try maybe some of the regional version. I'm gonna try the 3rd gen. Because I love my boys from my 7th gen legendaries. I have a bit of a fondness from 7th gen, so we're gonna leave them be for now. So yep. Thank you for staying up to this point. Merci d'être resté jusqu'au bout. Hein. J'espère que vous soyez bien amusés. Hope you had fun. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye tout le monde. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, everyone. Mwah.